Live from the Appraiser eLearning World Headquarters right here in Nashville, Tennessee. This is your weekly briefing from Appraiser eLearning. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host. I'm also coming to you live from Studio B here at the Appraiser eLearning World Headquarters. We have some really interesting things going on around here at Appraiser eLearning. We have had an incredibly busy time over the past year. So busy, in fact, that we got a little bit behind on some things. When you are, and I think a lot of appraisers are going to be able to kind of get their head around this. When you're so busy doing the work, working in your business, doing the work of your business, when you're so terribly busy, it's awful easy to overlook some of the things that you need to be doing. What Dustin Harris, the appraiser coach, talks about working on your business. Now, a couple things coming up this week. We have this week at Appraiser eLearning, if you go to AEL website, if you go down to the bottom of the page and select blog, you can go to Brian Reynolds' Appraisal Update podcast. And this week on the podcast, Brian speaks with Rudy Robinson about the notion of expanding your business. And they talk about a very specific area of expertise that Rudy has, which is as an environmental appraiser. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of different ways that you can, in fact, expand your business as a real estate appraiser. You can learn new skills. You can seek out new clients. And at a time like this, when we might be a little bit slower than we're used to, might be a good idea to learn some new skills. Of course, we would be thrilled if you came over to Appraiser eLearning and took Brian Reynolds' course on how to improve and increase your practice. Brian talks about different types of appraisal work that you can do, something other than working for AMCs or direct lender models. Court-appointed cases, anything involving litigation of any type can be another area. There are some appraisers in North Carolina that I know of who are going out and measuring houses according to ANSI standards specifically for real estate agents. And that's become not only a side hustle, but a primary hustle for those guys. There are a number of things that we can do as appraisers to expand our appraisal business. And Brian's topic on the podcast this week speaks directly to that. If you hop on over and listen to Rudy Robinson and Brian Reynolds on the Appraisal Update podcast, I think you'll get some good insights out of that. Also, this past month, I have been trying to get my head around how we got wrapped up in such a busy time. Now, April of this year, Fannie Mae said everybody's got to measure to ANSI. And we had an ANSI course. We've had one for 5 years. So we had the ability to deliver ANSI as a course nationwide. And we did that. And it was an emergency. It was a fire. It was a thing we had to put out right then. The problem with that kind of work is you sometimes neglect other parts of the work. One of the things I'd like to talk about is the idea of how to address specific issues in your business. And if you're not going to expand your business, maybe look at improving some processes. Maybe look at detailing what the process actually is for different things that you do. This blog post from me up at Appraiser eLearning discusses just that. Again, hop on over to the Appraisal Update podcast. Check out what Brian has to say about expanding your practice, about some ideas for how you might pick up other work aside from direct lender work. Also, check out the blog post from me talking about our struggles as a small business to deal with the notion of growth and expansion and how to add other products into what it is we do. We try to be transparent here at Appraiser eLearning. We try to be as open and honest about the things we do as possible, and that includes some of our struggles. So, again, that's your weekly briefing from Appraiser eLearning. I'm Hal Humphreys, your host, and now a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors.